Welcome to the Smart Business Show, episode 59. All month so far, we've talked about questioning methods, how to question your clients, what answers you need, just so that you can improve that. That's one of the parts that a lot of consultants actually fail on. They don't do a good job in the diagnosis, much like a doctor would ask you a bunch of questions. They're diagnosing, but so most consultants don't do a good job of that. Really, even most, say, salespeople in general. I know when I was worked at a canoe shop years ago, one of the best things to do was to dig with people. I remember talking to a couple that was probably, around my age at the time, in their mid to late 20s, and they wanted to come in and buy kayaks, which are great. They're great boats. They're long and you can get in them. They're fast. They feel great. But the questions I asked them were, you ever going to have a dog? Are you ever going to, what about kids? Are you going to get kids? Do you want to buy new boats? Because you can't just shove a kid inside a kayak. There's no space for it, especially when they were looking at long sea kayaks meant for big trips. And so the more we talked about it, I said, you know what? You want to buy a kayak? That's totally fine. I'll help you with it, but let's at least try a canoe, right? In a canoe, you can, put kids, you can put a dog, you can put a whole bunch of stuff in there, and it's great. And if you buy this type, then it's still pretty easy to paddle on its own. And as they went through the whole process of it, and this was a process over multiple weeks, really, they decided that, a canoe was the best boat for them. And that, yes, kayaks would be nice and they would still like them, but they'd like to get a canoe because that would set them up for the family. They could still go out and have a lot of fun. They still both enjoyed paddling it on their own. And, if they had kids, a dog, whatever, they'd have a boat. So that was because I diagnosed their issues. And they actually said, they came back and said, thank you very much. That was excellent. We didn't get what we originally wanted, but we got what was right for us. And even a few years later, they came back to buy their kayaks and they had a kid and they said, no, this is great. We've already been on a canoe trip with our kid. So that whole process is where consultants, salespeople, people in general fail. A client comes to you, they say, I got a problem. This is my problem. And you say, this is how much it costs to fix it. And you haven't done any of that. So the whole month has been talking about how to dive deeper into that, to really dig into the problems and the value that you can provide. So we've talked about questioning methods, right? The 5 whys, 5 W's, reflection or echoing questions. The thing is, you can't just use that one type the whole time. You can't only use the 5 whys and just keep saying why. It's going to sound robotic. And you don't want to sound like a dork. You don't want to sound robotic. You want to flow smoothly between the different questioning methods. Now, the only way to do that is to practice. I spent a decade in sales. So I had lots of practice that way. I have a counseling degree. I had lots of, role-playing practice in that method as well. I coach people. So again, I have more practice regularly. I've even sat with other people that were really good at value-based pricing, and they role-played as my client and stopped in the middle and we talked back and forth. That's really how you're going to get the practice. Yes, you can get it with your clients, but some of the best ways to get your initial practice is with, say, a mentoring group, a friend, something like that. And to do role-playing back and forth with the clients where they can stop and say, hey, why didn't you ask me this type of question? And you can say, well, I didn't think about it. And you can restart up the role play and go through it again. And recording those too, so you can see how nervous you feel or anything else, so that you sound really good as you do it. So if you do not have a mentoring group to do this with, I actually run some. They are not free, but you can email me. My email is curtis@curtismchale.ca, or you can go to my site, curtismchale.ca, click the Work With Me tab. You'll see some of the coaching packages I offer. And I would love to help you ask better questions and send better proposals. Just by learning to send better proposals, I earned $4,000 for 60 minutes worth of work yesterday because I provided a third option for someone, because I dug into the root problems. The root problem was automation, and I found extra automation I could provide for them that we never even talked about. They did not know it was a problem and quoted it and added $4,000 to the quote. It took me 60 minutes to build. Now I noticed another issue and it's going to take me another 60 minutes to do it, but that's still $2,000 an hour. Simply because I dug into their problems, because I knew questions, because I am good at asking questions, because I dug into it with them, because I did diagnosis. If I had just built what they wanted me to at the beginning, I'd be $4,000 poorer for 60 minutes worth of work. Thanks for watching.